Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for the final Hong Kong Sevens. Going to be a very entertaining one. It will be New Zealand taking on Fiji. What promises to be a fast-paced, physical encounter between these two sides. Fiji, they have already had themselves 19 titles in Hong Kong. They also, of their last 41 matches, have only lost one and drawn one. New Zealand are going to be in for a tough fight here, but the Kiwis, they will certainly be up for it, beating some tough sides along the way, including South Africa, Argentina. Those two sides that I just mentioned, Fiji beat them both. So it's going to be a very hard one to determine who has momentum heading into this matchup. But yeah, it's going to be a very exciting one, not too far away at all. Still 7 minutes per half. It is indeed for this final. And New Zealand, they would have just witnessed the Kiwi women's side getting themselves the gold medal over the Australians. Will that help them in their venture towards the gold in the men's side of the draw? Do let me know your score predictions in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. I believe they are just about to announce the lineups for this match of who is on which side, but for some reason on the World Rugby Sevens website, it isn't actually loading. So maybe they're having a few technical difficulties just before a final, but they will be showing the two sides on the screen extremely soon. They are just showing Torero Tamani when he was able to score that last-minute try, because Fiji have just been in a hard-fought battle up against Team GB. They went to extra time. Tamani got the score in the end that helped the Fijians get themselves the victory. Only just inside of the field of play, though, but another player to watch out for Fiji is Talathoro. He was absolutely brilliant in their last game, getting himself 2 assists. They are just showing how the pool's kind of shaped. Both of these sides undefeated, 5 from 5. Who do you think wins? Says, my name is Jeff. It looks like it's dried out a little bit. Still a bit of rain around, which I think actually probably favors New Zealand more than Fiji. So I would say if it was heavier rain, New Zealand will win. But I believe in my prediction, I went Fiji. We're going to win it by 5 points or so, somewhere around there. And I think that that might not be a mile off for this one. They've got an incredible record in Hong Kong, and they will certainly want that to continue. We have got still think it's a shame they play in Twickenham, UK. Our weekend should be played in Scotland, where the Sevens was born, says Kerr. And also New Zealand by 10, says Rikavanti for the prediction. Fiji all the way, says Peter. And also we have got there New Zealand for the double a little bit earlier on from Rikavanti. But now, hopefully, with a little bit of luck, we'll quickly refresh the Sevens page. Note, they still don't have the squads up on their page, but as soon as they do, we will let you know about it. Did you watch Warriors game? I didn't get to watch it live. I did watch a little bit of the scoreboard updating, like the kind of radio style little typing commentary. So I did get to see all of those last minute moments, including Sean Johnson's last minute penalty. And the Warriors were able to get themselves a win. It seems like we've got to the stage in Hong Kong how for some reason pretty much all the males who had half shirts on have now lost them. I don't know whether or not it is the song choice or what it is, but everyone seems to be getting slightly less clothed at the Hong Kong Sevens at the moment. Also, Viti says Tubson Stadium looks wild. Good times, says Kerr in there as well. The funny thing is, somewhere in there is a Tim, Rugby Itch, guy that we have done a few live streams with in the past, few videos on the channel. That man has got a lot of tattoos on his body and a big ginger wig getting ready for this match. But looking through at New Zealand for who the players will be who need to step up in this contest, someone like an Akulia Rokalisoa, he's been extremely solid throughout the whole competition. Here we go. The teams are now being announced. Josefa Talatholo, Tavira Dalgunu, also Josesi Batiraringa, Nathungu, Bokayaro, Maisa Moa, and also Nadovalo for the Fijians. Then for New Zealand, it will be Dylan Collier, Amanaki Nicole, Sione Molia, Rockali Soa, Narohi McGarvey Black, Leroy Carter, and then the last man there is going to be the youngster Cody Vi. There's going to be an intense match. It certainly is, and I cannot wait. See which way it does end up going. Whenever these two sides play off in the final, it is always impressive, always tightly contested, and I think that that rain will cause that as well. I actually said in my preview, I think this is going to be a try-scoring fest. I think we're going to see a lot of tries being scored between the two sides, even though there's slightly wet conditions. I think that will create a little bit more structure for the way that these two sides play. And also, we have got the I'm here in Hong Kong, not at the ground. Crappy day here. Great to see some good Seven action. There's a Rikavanti there. Now the two sides making their way out of the tunnel. There is a lot on the line here for New Zealand. They are already in an automatic Olympic qualifying spot. They want to keep that, of course, and they want to try and extend their lead over Argentina, who did only manage to get themselves, I believe they got fifth, or in fact, no, they would have been a bit lower, were they? Fifth or sixth. I believe Argentina ended up getting. And the end of April 8th for Melrose Sevens, one more week, says Kerr, then still nil all. And the Exeter versus Montpellier game, says Richard, is it? Last time I checked, it was Montpellier 12, Exeter Chiefs 7. So maybe I saw a different game in that regard. But I think that that was closer to the score, seeing as it did start at 11:30 p.m. But still a few drops falling from the sky here. Do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, who do you think will score the first try in this match? The last time I tried to do this in a final, I managed to somehow get it correct. And in this one, I am going to say that it is a Kuria Rokalisoa who scores the first try of the final. That is not to say that New Zealand will win this game, because they will have to be on their absolute A game to take down this flying Fijian side. But I'm picking him to score the first try. Still haven't spotted Tim. Haven't put it in slow-mo rewinds. And nope, says Blues 9 next to 14, Montpellier 12. The latest I've got, says Kerr. And there's, oh, okay, so Exeter must have gotten another try. And those later moments, I assume Stuart Hogg is playing for them in the contest. He'll be a very handy asset to have. But now we are just about to hear the national anthems. This game kicking off 2 minutes ago, according to the time schedule. But I assume everything else was running just that little bit later, which is why we are still waiting eagerly to see who manages to take out this matchup. But off the benches, some very handy players for the Fijians. They've got Patterson, Logan Amasi, also a Volley Tuive, who did pretty decently in the later stages of that last contest up against Great Britain. Just didn't quite get himself over the try line in the end. Then they have got Balafha coming off the bench, and also Vailawa, another option for them there, with Ioane Tebo, I believe, as about the 12th or 13th man. Then for New Zealand, Brady Rush, Lewis Orman, Tavita, Cook-Sarich, or Tapaya Cook-Sarich, sorry, Whainga, Norfo, and Tito Harris. And who's the fave here, do you reckon, says Hanoi? Well, while we've got the national anthems, I'll quickly get you the exact betting odds for this one when it comes to New Zealand. Okay, sorry, the EPC Rugby website must be behind. There's Richard in there. And Fiji will win, and Hogg not playing. Oh, must be missing. That one right. New Zealand versus Fiji. Where are they hiding this one? And they are certainly hiding it. Rugby Union, there we go. Fiji versus New Zealand. New Zealand come in as $1.50 favourites for this match, and the Fijians $2.55 underdogs. That seems a little bit too in favour of the Kiwis, to be honest, because Fiji in Hong Kong have got an absolutely brilliant record. Do you show the actual game? Sadly, due to licensing, any match footage or audio, you get taken straight off YouTube and banned for 3 months. So unfortunately, we can only do the commentary, but I do recommend checking out. There's actually a YouTube channel called Fiji Sevens that I've seen has been uploading all of the Fijian games. You can see the tears on the face of the Fijian players. You can see how much it means to them. They've got a big opportunity here to take down the Kiwis. Fiji will win, says Yashnil. And also we have got their Fiji from Baroni in there as well. And Fiji is all class, but got to be a bit tired. New Zealand might run away with it in the rain, says Rikavanti. Yeah, I feel like the wet conditions definitely are in favour of New Zealand, because that stops Fiji from a little bit of that expansive offloading game that they do try often. Now, that's not to say that they won't go for it. It's just to say that it may not quite come off as cleanly as it would in the dry, but it will be nice for the players sliding towards that try line when they do get that opportunity. Cody Vi, almost in tears. I'm almost losing my voice at the moment, but we're good to go. We have done about 25 hours of live streaming or something along the lines over the last 2 days. So the voice is certainly struggling. Hopefully the scoreboard working tonight. Let's go, Mr. Scoreboard, fire up, says Blues Nate there, and they won't bother playing Hogg anymore since he decided to retire, says Kerr there. New Zealand national anthem being sung. This is Cody Vi's first tournament, and you can see that the nerves are starting to hit him a little bit. You can see the emotion on his face, the tears streaming down his cheeks. Managed to start his debut season actually very well. His debut leg, got himself a try in the first game, got himself a try in the second game. But this is different. This is a final. You've got a chance of getting yourself the gold medal. He's trying to hold himself together, but the youngster, he's only, I believe, 20 years of age. Got a bright future. Kulia Broccoli Soa looking locked and loaded, ready to go for this final up against the Flying Fijians. Ladies and gentlemen, we are almost at game time. And you should get one of them cough syrup as a sponsor, says R45. And yeah, like they've just mentioned, perfect way of describing it. It means something to the players. One more last time, Amish. Thank you, Kiwi lads. Says Blues Nan. I appreciate you being here all throughout the weekend, mate. Hugely appreciated the Fijians. Taking a few deep breaths here. And now they are ready to go. Balatha leading them in the breathing exercises. They are on the halfway line. And I believe they will be kicking off this match. The Fijian. Good game, gents. Kid is going to be running it out onto the field. I do see that he's got glasses on. Hopefully he doesn't get them flown off when he gets lifted in the air by the Fijian side. They hold the kid up in the air with the match ball. And we are now ready to go for a important final between these two sides. Come on, Fiji, says Tuffs, and the Fiji flags from Blues Nate as well. Like they mentioned, you can see the emotion on the faces of the players. See the emotion on the faces of the crowd. This game, anytime they go head to head, you know it's going to be a good one. That's what we're about to see. You managed to get a feed yet? Says Kerr, half of a little tiny one. I had a snack in between. What live stream was it? A couple of them, I had like a 20-minute break, so I had a quick snack for that one, and that was kind of my breakfast, lunch, and kind of tea up until after this live stream. No huckers to save the energy. Says Annoying Push Boy, says Daniel, let's go Fiji. We are now ready to go, ladies and gentlemen, and we are underway for this matchup. Broccoli Soa kicks it off long, trying out a slightly different tactic. Big shot on Bukiaro, but Batirarenga has been able to clean it up. Only 5 meters out from their own line here, Fiji. Bit of a counter ruck from New Zealand, knocked out of the hands of the Fijian number 82, Tavera Dalgunu. Now going off to the right-hand side, wide cut-out pass. Here comes Cody Vai on debut for his series, and he scored a try in the final. If he was in tears throughout the national anthem, he's certainly going to be feeling that one. And his debut tournament scores the try, his third in Hong Kong. Just started Tosa Veti Toso. Says Tups there maybe after the Haka Boogie time or Boogie time. And also last game, and then you can sleep, says Kerr. See, I'll probably end up having a snack, or I'll probably end up actually having food after this live stream. And then I've learned that I am working from 10 a.m. tomorrow with my dad. We are getting a concrete slab all prepared. So I'm going to be filling bags of shingle for the boxing. That is going to be a great try for Cody Vai. And the kick is going away to the right-hand side. So unsuccessful with the conversion. Sure try. Says Blues Nate, and the fire emojis from Kerr. New Zealand have not played a cup final in Hong Kong since 2016. Can they make the most of the opportunity? Taken nicely, though, by Fiji. Good hands from my son Moore. Once again, though, New Zealand managed to keep the Fijians inside of their 22. That seems to be the tactic. Force them deep. Make them have to run the full length of the field if they are able to break through. Good run from Batirarenga. Dragged down low by Leroy Carter, who pretty much was swimming to try and get both of the legs. Counteract there from New Zealand. Ball becomes available. Flicked out the back from Fiji. Ball is loose. Amanaki Nicole tried to get it. It's going to be taken by my son Moore, who has no choice but to kick it downfield. Leroy Carter takes it nicely on the 22. Looks ready to try and run this ball back at the Fijian defense. Passes it out wide. Just allows the ball to bounce into the hands of Cody Vai. Taken down inside of the 22. Roccaliso on the short side. Passes back to Sione Molia. They have got Amanaki Nicole down the bottom. I've just spotted him. Watch out for him in the next couple plays. Leroy Carter, though, going to the top side. First, Cody Vai back to space. Inside ball to Leroy Carter. They might not even need him, although that ball's been knocked down and into touch by the Fijians. Now New Zealand with the 5-meter line out. Roccaliso takes it quickly. They've said that it's touched both teams, so they are unable to do it as quickly as they like. Great start and defend. Vanaka Vetti, says Tuffs, and thank you, Kiwi lads. Let's go, Kiwi All Black. Says May. I'm getting excited here, says Kerr. Pushed into touch for New Zealand. It's going to be a 5-meter scrum. In fact, for the Fijians, they have called for a New Zealand knock-on. Fiji undefeated in their last undefeated in 40 of their past 41 games Well, then they're not undefeated, are they? Because undefeated would be all of those 40 games plus the 41. Interesting stat, but either way, it's a very impressive stat that Fiji have got so many. Oh, playing the ball on the ground for Rokaliso. I'm not sure if he got back up to his feet. They say that he did, and it's the try to New Zealand. Sione Molia with the flattened nose manages to score the try. I wasn't sure if he was back to his feet, the man who did grab it off the ground. And usually I'll be watching the game here, but it's definitely a peace of mind. Lennon and Neighbours reactions explain everything while listening to the commentary here. Just popped up Rokaliso, a half an inch on the toes. And because of that, he is then legally allowed to go for that ball. And then Sione Molia finishes it off around the side of the breakdown. Great start to this match now for New Zealand. Portia Woodman-Wycliffe with the gold medal around her neck. The Kiwis are celebrating big time. Come on, Fiji. There's a Viniana. And this is the perfect example of not so much position, but territory. New Zealand have kept Fiji deep inside of their own half this whole first 5 minutes, and it's really been hurting them. Fiji will need some luck to beat New Zealand. They just need a bit of territory. Get it down the field. They'll have a lot more success. I would be very surprised if New Zealand, they didn't kick long. Interesting choice. And now they've given Fiji possession. Going to be a penalty for taking the man out in the air. Bukayaro takes the quick tap. Oh, it's going to be knocked on, though, from Taveta Dalgunu, who was just slightly behind him when he tried to catch it. Now New Zealand have the scrum. Yeah, it was an interesting choice to go short rather than kicking it long, trying to keep Fiji inside of that 22. I'm watching the game on mute, so I can hear Hamish commitment. Says Kerr, it certainly is, mate. Hopefully we're all synced up with the time. We are currently sitting at 2:12, although they've just turned time off, so everyone will be at 2:12. More than likely, let's do this, New Zealand. Says T. Auriwa Tapau. And also, thanks, Kiwi. Let's go. Fiji says MJ, I'm enjoying your rugby commentary all weekend. Do you do boxing as well? It's something we've only done one event in. Do you cover the Warriors game, says Ed Smith? Or did you? We didn't because of the Sevens was overlapping, but we do want to do a bit more of the NRL. And actually, we've been looking at the UFC as a possible option for us in the future. Now, Rohi Makavi-Black kicks it in behind. Leroy Carter trying to chase after that one, but the ball has been quick. Oh, he gets there. Oh, he's killed himself on the net. On the wall. He's managed to score it through the barricade almost for Leroy Carter. Try scored. They're going to check this one just to make sure he was onside and just to check the grounding. He got smashed into the barrier. He's got the try down. He didn't even care that it was going to end up extremely painful for him. Got the ball down. New Zealand now leading 17 points to nil. I'm about 20 seconds ahead of you somehow, says Kerr there. That'll be because I'm on Sky Sport now rather than Sky Sport. So it is a little bit of a delay. Sarah Hirni happy with that one. We see the bronze medal around the neck of, I believe that would have been USA. Or was it France, in fact? It might have been France. Wow, beautiful. And up by 19 so far. Wowza, says Kerr. Yeah, brilliant start to this match for New Zealand. 5.5 minutes of starving the Fijians from getting the ball in their hands, which is what you got to do. They had that one opportunity earlier on. They did end up dropping it. New Zealand off that went for the kick in behind of Narohi Makavi-Black, and Leroy Carter got to the ball, flew into the barrier. And it also been a while since New Zealand beat Fiji. Hardly follow the Sevens these days, says Sammy Souza, and the conversions in Sevens are kind of silly, says Ed Smith. Some of them go over, some of them don't. New Zealand missed one so far, but they are now sitting 19 points to nil. Nicely taken by Bukayaro. Looking to fire back for the Fijians. Straight up the middle, New Zealand well and truly caught off guard. Brilliant work. Offloads it. Now goes to Nathungu. Short ball. Nadovalo will get the try back for Fiji. It only took them one set play and one probably 100 meters almost they made there. The Fijians about 70. Nadovalo third, and Screaming Neighbours explain it all. That's New Zealand's power. And since Samoa's out, I'm cheering for you, Kiwi lad. Let's go, says Chrissy. And big thrashing from New Zealand, says Walter. Or is it? It's another try being scored, but it's not for the Kiwis this time. It is for the Fijians. That Leroy Carter has become one of our most valuable players. He's an incredible player. Played in the Bunnings EBC for, I believe he was at Bay of Plenty for a while. Got scouted, picked up by the Sevens. And ever since then, it's been going from strength to strength. Fiji says MJ. Here comes Fiji, says Carl. Let's go, cuz, says Nate there. Big love for that Fiji response, though. Says Kerr. Right, it's going to be kicked off by New Zealand. Only 2 seconds left. Fiji trying to slap it back. Now, Roy McGarvey-Black slinging it across. Looks like New Zealand want to play on here. That is something that we've seen them do throughout their whole Sevens campaign. throughout 2023. They want to keep on playing even when they should possibly be looking to kick this ball into touch. Looks like a Kuria, Rokalisoa, thinking about the step, running hard at Natungu, finds the offload to Dylan Collier. Rush defense there from Fiji, Amanaki Nicole. They've obviously been testing out their gas tank. That's almost a turnover for Fiji. New Zealand know that they can go for 20 minutes if they need to. Rokalisoa wrestled down. Bukayaro cleaned out by McCarvey Black. Gone through the hands of the Kiwis. Now, looks like Collier again will receive this ball. He's got McCarvey Black with him. Hits it up at the line, goes down. Fiji normally very good in the breakdowns at getting those turnovers when the opportunity arises. Long pass from New Zealand. Now out to Cody Vai, the youngster. He's marking up with Talatholo today, driven into the turf. New Zealand currently playing with the ball 1 minute after the halftime siren. You'd assume that they do back themselves to be able to get the try. If they don't, then they are going to get themselves in a bit of trouble. Big bump off from Leroy Carter. Passes over the top to Collier. Now another offload. Now Rohi McGarvey Black gets it in New Zealand. Oh, no, he doesn't. I think Talatholo might have just pushed him into touch. They're going to have to go upstairs and have another look at this one. My voice cannot handle the action that's happening throughout this contest. Fiji are still spent from the GB semi, but gaining their second win, says Lowry. And hang on, Fiji. New Zealand don't want to go into the shed without scoring last, and my neighbours are foretelling. I think Talatholo may have pushed Narohi McGarvey Black into touch there. That was my first reaction. There's a Fijian player down on the near side of the field. Looks like Waisia Nathungu did have an injury on a past leg. This was a massive push. Nah, he got it down. Going to be the try for Narohi McGarvey Black. I thought initially he wasn't able to slam. Oh, actually, I think he's dropped that. Oh, now that's an interesting one because it looks like there is a little bit of separation, but maybe not enough separation for them to warrant saying no try. And I know that that sounds like a weird explanation, but it seems to be as long as you got some sort of control over the ball, they might consider it try. He ate the line. He's got white stuff all over his face. It looks like he's been at a Colombian's birthday party. But, oh, I don't know. It looks tricky. That's a score, says Kern. Great lead, New Zealand, says Rikavanti. They have awarded the try for Narohi McGarvey Black. And that is now going to make the score 24 points to 7. That might be his night over, though, because he looks like he's got some sort of maybe hamstring injury after flying. And I was look at them, says Rikavanti, and says Ed Smith. It looks like paint's gone right up his nose, unfortunately. And yes, there's Novman. That kick is missed away to the side. So that will be 24 points to 7 going into halftime. And New Zealand All Blacks must be inspired by the Black Ferns Cup win earlier. Here's a paint. Well, he has the paint to prove it. It's a try, says Nate. It was a Colombian party, lol, says MJ. And I want to go to that Colombian party. I hope we haven't got any Colombians in attendance for this one. I know that we've got a couple of fellas who watch from Colombia. I don't know if they are Colombian. And is that white stuff legal, says Chrissy. Halftime, 24 points to 7 at the moment for the Kiwis. Crowd singing along to a bit of Queen, We Will Rock You. And at the moment, that stadium has been rocking throughout all 3 days of the Hong Kong Sevens. Absolutely awesome to see the atmosphere. Still looking for Rugby Itch, one of the other YouTubers who we have done videos with. He's somewhere in the stadium, but we just haven't been able to find him. Go Fiji, go. God is with you, Team Fiji, says Amosi, and hello, Yawns, says Pads Ablaze. And what was the score for the Black Ferns? They were able to get themselves the victory in that game. I believe it was 19 points to 12. But I'll just quickly make sure that I've got that right. I think I might have got that slightly wrong because Stacey Waka flew last try, actually, sorry, each team had an extra try. 26 points to 17 in that one. 7 more minutes left for Fiji to make or break, especially in that semi-finals. Took a lot out of them. Ben guys to spray them at halftime as usual. Banaka, let's go Fiji, says Tips, and Bleed Black says Creeper Reigns. 7 minutes. Fiji need 3 converted tries to be able to get into the lead. In fact, they don't even need to convert them all. They just need to get a few early points on the board. And Colombian Co-Party says Blues, Nate. The crowd absolutely loving it here in Hong Kong. Looks like the rain slightly stopped as well for this game, which is great news. Maybe Fiji will be able to use that to their advantage in the second half. One half, 7 minutes remain. Then they are heading to Singapore next weekend. Yeah, been a good weekend all round, matey. Says Kerr. And also, we've got their men Kmart hoodie, bro. They last for ages, says Chief. Although this one isn't Kmart, this is Hallenstein's. Went a little bit more. Well, it's not really that much more fancy, but it's a little bit more fancy than my Everlast one that I had on the last live stream. Now going back across. Nice pass from Sione Molia. Now on the outside. I hope you're doing well, Chief. I think we might have had a chat about them last time, didn't we? And also we have got there, it's the Kiwis final to lose, says Lowry. And second half, the Fiji horses start galloping. Watch out, go Fiji. New Zealand now going to end up with the line out, though. Fiji have conceded just one second half try this weekend. That is an incredible stat. New Zealand will know that. They'll want to change it. Rokali Soa to throw the ball and taking a few extra seconds. Can't take too long, though, or else he'll get a free kick. This has to be free kick now. This is too long. They've taken about 14, 15 seconds there to take that line out throw. Now, Cook Savage goes to Leroy Carter. Wide cut out pass. It was flat out to Dylan Collier. Now stepping around Talatholo. Finds the offload on the inside to Amanaki Nicole with the good hands. Was a tricky one to take. Taken down by Logan I must see. Penalty goes the way of Fiji. And I can see that Balatha is now on the field. He was one of my players that I said would make a huge impact in the second half. Fiji need the trunk monkey to win this, says Carl Sanders. Now, my Samoa 40 metres out from their own line here. Fiji are trying now would make this very interesting heading into the later moments. Balatha, though, tackled quite late by Rokali Soa, I should say, sorry. Now, Talatolo, consider the offload. Taken down again. But Tidaringa goes across the right-hand side. Nadovalo. Now one more on the outside. Here comes Filippo Bocayaro. That was incredible. Acceleration. There's a bit of cover defense from Amanaki Nicole. Hits him with the spear to stop him. Still finds the offload, though, to my Samoa. It was close to flat. They are going to have the advantage now for the Fijians. They've got Talatolo on the outside. Gives it to him early. Says you can have one-on-one with Leroy Carter. Doesn't need him. He goes over the line. Talatolo through Dylan Collier. By the sounds of it, number 9 might end up with a yellow card from what I've just heard. Is that going to be something? Or is it not going to be a yellow card? Just number 9 was the one who was penalised. That would be Amanaki Nicole. And also, come on, Fiji, speed it up hard, and that's a soft score to lose. Says Kerr there, my league is getting better. Still hurts at times. Imagine Black Ferns win Cump. Says MH Joy. Going into the corner. This was Fiji with 6 men as well, I should mention. They had a player down in the background. And still, Talatholo broke through Leroy Carter. Tried to go low. Was relying on Dylan Collier to be able to go high alongside him. They got the timing wrong. Bit of miscommunication. And now Fiji get a little bit further back into this game. They missed the conversion. 24 points to 12 now between these two sides in the final. And it was Amanaki Nicole. I heard correctly. He is now off the field for the next 2 minutes. Got himself a yellow card. Must have been something relatively cynical on the halfway line that forced that initial advantage. So now they are going to be playing with only 6 men on the park. The Kiwis. Fiji, they'll be loving this. They'll be licking their lips going, what can we do with the gaps that have now formed? Dylan Collier goes across to Leroy Carter. New Zealand now inside of the 22, similar to what we saw in the first half that they were doing to Fiji, although Brady Rush drives outside of that 22-metre line. Bit of a counter ruck from Fiji. Did they force the turnover? No, it's still available. Goes through the legs of Tapaya Savage. Now I want him to get back up to his feet. He's done extremely well. In fact, it was Cody Vai who managed to do well there because that was a very pressurized situation. Brady Rush close to the touchline. Bumps off Waisena Thunu. Looks like he might have had his hands on the ball. He certainly does. And Fiji win themselves another penalty, taking the quick tap. Batitarenga now in the midfield. Logan Imasi going across again. This is great work from Fiji with Talatholo. Thought about the offload. Does he use it? Yes, he does, but it's going to be a knock on. He just forced it, unfortunately, rather than taking the contact. And also we have there, go Fiji. Everyone is counting on you. We know you can do this. Says that Stormy. And Tosaviti says Malika there as well. Now down the wing, New Zealand. They do win themselves the penalty. They'll slow this down. They'll wait till about maybe 10 seconds left on Amanaki Nicole's yellow card. And then they will kick this one into touch. They have been told to get going, though. Fiji first penalty that they have given away in the last about, or in fact, no, they haven't given one away. That's a great kick downfield. Little bit out of position. The Fijian who was trying to mark it does mean they make some good meters. Tosaveti says, Elisa, go Fiji. Says Baroni there. Time is off. Looks like there's going to be another change made by the Fijians this time. It's number 20. Is number 20 around? Who's that? That is going to be Volley TV. He now makes his way onto the field. 2 tries is needed for Fiji right now. Ref letting them back in the game. And also with Steady Viti, Focus, Tico. And there, although that is the first penalty against Fiji in this matchup, compared to the 3 that have gone against New Zealand. Now Dylan Collier goes across to Paya Cook Savage. Roka Lesoa almost through. Good low tackle made by Josefa Talatholo. Now Collier looks to the left-hand side, thinks there's a bit of a chance that they can get it going down that way. Loose ball. It's a knock on. Now Amanaki Nicole back out on the field. Just trying to remember what my prediction was for this game. I believe I predicted 26 points to 19 in favor of Fiji. I think. Maybe. I might be very wrong. But I did say it should be a high-scoring affair, and that is exactly what we have had so far. Anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Vilawa about to feed the ball in. Now Fiji, 90 seconds to get 2 converted tries. If any side can do it, it's the Fijians. You said Fiji by 5, says my name is Jeff in there as well. They're going to need a few big moments in this one, aren't they? How many minutes are left? Only 1 minute 13. Great hands there from Nadovalo. That looked a little bit high, but he might have also been jumping slightly into the challenge, make it a bit more tricky. Going off to the left-hand side here for Fiji. New Zealand won't mind just trying to mark up here, keep that line of defense set. Now, nice ball on the outside, though. Oh, great tackle made on Logan Amasi by Rockali Soa. That explosive acceleration that he brings incoming, says Simi Souza, Matamata Viti in there. And let's go Fiji, says Savanatha there, Matamata, and also New Zealand 1, says Reje. And last minute to go. New Zealand have not won a Hong Kong Sevens final since 2014. It's been almost 9 years in the making for the Kiwis. The only way that may stop the chances of that happening is if Fiji score right at this very moment. They're on the halfway line. They are continuing getting forced back into their own area. 30 seconds remaining now. They've got plenty of pace. They can fully make the 100-meter sprint in less than 10 seconds or somewhere around there. My Samoa is going to back himself to give it a go. Looks to just use this ball on the ground. The Fijians, if they score now, they may even consider saying, we don't want to take the conversion. Talatholo running hard. They will say, I assume, oh, why is he stalled? He scored the try. He's making it a little bit easier. They've only got 10 seconds now, though. The Fijians may have just made their way back into this contest. They have got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it's going to be kicked by the Fijians. The siren has sounded. It's the end of the game. Why did they kick the conversion? That's going to be the end of it. And that is going to be the game, ladies and gentlemen. Had Fiji just decided to say, we don't want the conversion, there would have been the kickoff. Then from there, if they had got themselves the converted try, they would have at least drawn this match. But they decided to take on the kick. They'll be disappointed with that one, Fiji, as it was chance that just slipped through their hands. Go the All Blacks, says Chief Miracle. Has said New Zealand might win. Go New Zealand, and great defense from the All Blacks. And yay, says T. Auriwa, Tipao, and also let's go New Zealand, says Cormac. And All Blacks and Black Ferns Day, yeah, both Kiwi sides getting themselves the victory. The Fijian, though, very valiant performance throughout this whole Hong Kong Sevens competition. They have fought hard. They were undefeated going into this game. Fiji drew. Still had a great win last weekend. Congrats, Kiwis, the double, says Lowry. And there as well. And they are just talking about it. They didn't have to take the conversion, and they would have still had time on the clock. And the newbies in the Fiji team should have skipped the conversion there. Always New Zealand defense stood strong. And referee just mucked Fiji's game again. I mean, he just told them that there was this much time left on the clock, and then they took the kick. I don't think that's really taken them out. They got penalised once in this game compared to the 3 times that New Zealand got penalised. If anyone was going to complain about the refereeing, I don't think it would be Fiji for this match. I think in this game, As much as it may frustrate some people to hear, I think the Kiwis ended up winning this one fair and square. But Fiji will be back. They'll be stronger than ever, hopefully in Singapore, making it through to the final, looking for that automatic Olympic qualification that is just around the corner for the Fijians. An awesome game, guys. That's a spin it. Oh, that's the spirit. Thank you very much, everyone. Says tough there. Fiji definitely were undone for not playing smart, says Sammy Sows. And thanks so much. Great commentary all weekend, says the Orewa Tapau. I appreciate that a lot, mate. Thank you very much for being here. The end score in this one, 17 points to 24. So Fiji actually missing that conversion as well, which is a little bit of an unlucky one. So the fact that they took it on, missed it, cost them big time. And what an intense game. Another excellent weekend. Thanks to all. Have a good week. Be safe. See you soon. Stairs Kerr there. And many thanks for the commentary, Hamish. Have a wonderful Easter. Says up to you too. We will be back for a majority of next weekend on the channel. We're going to have a few guests maybe popping in as well. And New Zealand Rugby Bullying, says Amosi. And there, New Zealand way too good to Mickey Boys, says Chief. And what an intense game. And now New Zealand time, no Fiji time, says Walter. Although Fiji, they will be back. And also, we have got there the feed or the referee's plan to make New Zealand win, says Amira. If that helps you sleep at night, you can go with that. But I think anyone who watched the game realized it was just a very good, hard fought battle between the two sides. Fiji, if they had taken an opportunity early in that second half, perhaps they could have been the side who were leading by the end of the game and had New Zealand playing catch up. But it wasn't quite the way that it did work out. Thanks so much for the commentary, says Amira, and Ireland just started it, says Mr. Lerm. And also, we have got there sad when the momentum being killed by refs. They got penalised once, Fiji. New Zealand got penalised 3 times. If I don't know what you're complaining about, to be honest. But Fiji, they themselves will be like, we didn't quite play well enough in that first half. We conceded early tries to New Zealand. Great weekend and all the rugby codes for Kiwi teams, says Ed. And also, we have got there in the chat as well. Kiwi. We'll be back next week in Singapore. Or Fiji will be back next week in Singapore, New Zealand too good. Yeah, I feel like they'll certainly make their way far in the next stage. Vanaka, says Esther, or Esther. Hopefully I've said that correctly. And also New Zealand too strong, says T. And thanks Fiji, says Lay. And there as well. And you're a bloody machine, Amish Fair Play, says Fleshin. There we are sitting here, 12:48 a.m. here in New Zealand. I don't know how many hours of commentary we've done over the last 2 or 3 days. It's at least, I want to say it's 25, but I don't want to overshoot it. I feel like it could be around that 20-hour mark of the matches that we've done. Rigged, says DJ Hothead. Once again, penalty count in this game, 1 against Fiji, 3 against New Zealand. I feel like if they were going to rig it, they would have at least penalised the Fijians a little bit more. Just saying. And Fiji had the longest streak, and these guys ended it, says DJ Hothead. And that's the thing. Fiji were looking for their 20th win in Hong Kong, which would have been absolutely massive for them. And they do actually get themselves just a little bit further up in the rankings now. They actually find themselves sitting in 3rd on the overall. I'm honest, Hamish, sad to see Fiji being beaten by New Zealand. Well, I'm honest, Hamish, sad to see Fiji being beaten by New Zealand. And Bulls game next, says Kerr. Should probably sleep. we got work tomorrow morning, nice and early. And rigging my foot. It was a good game, and the better team won. Only reason Fiji lost because they played more games than the Kiwis because they kept proceeded, says DJ Hothead. So I assume you are talking about the fact that they had their golden point game up against the Great British side where they did play the extra 2 minutes in that matchup, whereas New Zealand in their first game or one of their group stage matches played 10 minutes and a half. So if anything, if you add up all the minutes played, including Fiji's golden point time, New Zealand played a little bit more. Just saying. You know, if you want stats, I got stats for you. We got plenty of them. And see you next weekend. Don't forget to look up Trunk Monkey. Do you watch the IPL? I do watch a little bit of the IPL. It's a struggle with the time zones that we have got here in New Zealand. Thanks for your commentary. Says Ed there, I love Fiji versus New Zealand game. Always exciting, says T. It certainly is. And the men's and the women's, says Nate. And cheers to the ladies and gentlemen. Winners, says Mr. Lerm. But yeah, only a little bit of the IPL, not enough to the extent of doing the commentary of those matches. And also congrats New Zealand, says Moss. Yeah, well played by the Kiwis. Well played by Fiji as well, like I mentioned. They fought well. They bet some tough sides to even get to this final. They bet Samoa. They bet Argentina. They bet South Africa. New Zealand's are ops. Fiji on top. Says DJ. That's the thing. Fiji will fire back next week in Singapore. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if Fiji get themselves the victory. They're a tough side. They're a well-oiled machine when they get going. And I would say, to be honest, this was probably their worst performance when it came to that defense in the first half. Other than that, though, in their other games, they have been very impressive. Cheers for live. Have a blessed week, everyone. Says Moss and Fiji on second place. Says T. Montpellier red cards, still ahead by 1. South Africa versus the Netherlands. Why cricket is famous in Asia, says Andy, and why cricket is famous in the IPL. I think it's just because there is a lot of money involved in the IPL, kind of now identify as Samoan. I'm sure they'd accept you with open arms, though. The Samoan side always in good spirits. New Zealand rules, says Trojan. And also, we have got there Fiji lost the longest streak in rugby history, says DJ Hothead. Oh, for the Hong Kong Sevens. I assume you are talking there in terms of the most legs in a row. I was going to say they actually lost to, who was it? Uruguay about 1 or 2 leagues ago in the Sevens. So I assume you are talking Hong Kongs in general for back to back to back to back to back. And America to the sleep, says Creeper Rains. And as New Zealand, a great country. It's all right. I haven't been stabbed yet, so we're all good. Although saying that, I also don't leave the house, so it's good to go. Still worth the series points for reaching the final in Fiji's case. Exactly right. That helps them secure their spot into the men's Olympic qualification standings. And I would say with the amount of leagues that they've got left for the overall one, player of the final did work out to be Dylan Collier. For anyone wondering about that. But for the men's series on the calendar, they have got Singapore next week, like I mentioned. Then they have got Toulouse, and then their final leg will be in London. That will be happening on the 20th to the 21st of May in 2023. Good night, my friend, says Andy. And why Fiji? Why, says DJ Hothead. Watch Fiji win the Olympics, says DJ Hothead. And it's not too far away. And they might have automatic Olympic qualifications now. But thank you all very much for tuning in. It has been a fun weekend. We have done sevens. We've done Super Rugby, Champions Cup, pretty much all-nighters doing all these games. Wouldn't do it any other way over the weekend. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We recently brought up 23,000 subscribers, which is absolutely huge. And it is thank you to all of you guys who have been hitting that subscribe button. Fiji win Olympics, but nothing else, says T there. That's a bit harsh, but let's see how they go next week in Singapore. I'm sure they'll bounce back. I'm not sure how the pools will be sitting or the tables for Singapore yet, but once we know them, we have got a Fiji preview coming out later on this week when we have filmed it, which will kind of work it out. And then also alongside that, we'll do a Samoa one and maybe even a Kiwi one. We do have time. Thanks, Hamish there. Says Amira, enjoy, catch you later. Good luck for Tuesday, says Kurt. Do appreciate that, mate. And yeah, it was good to see you. Hopefully you do get a chance to watch some of those Singapore Sevens live in the next week's one. Fiji has been rubbish under Ben Gollings. Just their individual brilliance has seen them through to this final. A few changes in personnel like Balatha and Tamani. Yeah, I think Balatha was a good injection into the side. Seems to just have that little bit of explosiveness coming off a bench, and also seems to really understand how to get Fiji on the front foot. When they are struggling, when they're stuck, he'll work a way out to either find the gap or find that offload that then creates that opportunity. Lokanamasi and Dalgunu should be demoted permanently to local sevens rugby. Are not good enough for the international stage, says JV. So who knows? Maybe they will add a few more players in for Singapore, seeing as it is a little bit closer. We've seen a couple injuries for the Fijians as well. So maybe a couple other guys get added in there. I hope Fiji smash New Zealand bad in the Olympics in the 3rd round, says DJ Hothead. And I was congrats, New Zealand. Go Fiji, go. Dazzling on approach and landing indeed, says John there. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, sure leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all for the next one.